Hi all, my name is Jonathan Lamb. I'll be your professor for Online Calculus 2 asynchronous format for this summer of 2024. My goal is to make this class as flexible and as helpful as I possibly can for you this summer. To be honest, it's not ideal to take a Calculus 2 class online. However, I feel that I've already provided you with enough resources here within Brightspace that I'll show you today, and how I'll try to guide you through the course and help you out as much as possible. But as we go throughout the summer, please know as we're doing anything, I'm always going to be accessible to you, whether that's here on Zoom, like this video is being created, or even if you want to see me in person. I can be at the main campus at Pellissippi most days of the week. So if you need to meet in person and go over some things as you're trying to get through the class, let me know. I'll be glad to help you out. My goal is to be the best professor that I can possibly be for this class, despite this asynchronous format. So please feel free as we go through this class, use me as much or as little as you need. This class is your class. I'm not going to tell you how to do the class. I'm going to give you the freedom to do the class a lot in the ways that you would like to do it. So it's possible that you could get through the class and never ever see me, whether here online or in person at all. So that would be absolutely fine. I've had students be successful in this class, and I've never met them online or in person, and they made an A in the class. I've had others that really needed a lot of support through this class. And either way, I'll be here to help you out however I can. But you just let me know what you need me to do. I'll let you I'll let you take the lead in how I need to best help you. Let me go ahead and share my Brightspace screen here with you, and that should help you see how I'll be running the class. So this is just our main homepage for our course. Later on, once you're watching this, hopefully this video that you're watching that I'm doing right now, I'll place it right under my capitalized, please watch my introductory video. So this video will go right here. But as I was saying at the beginning, I am Jonathan Lamb. I'm the lead professor of calculus at Pellissippi State. This class is typically considered the most difficult of the calculus sequence because it's a whole lot harder to go backwards than it is forwards. So in Calculus 1, we did derivatives. We're doing the antiderivatives this semester, often called the integration. And it's a lot more difficult because with derivatives, we always had rules that would always work. That's not going to be the case this semester. We're going to have to learn techniques to work backwards. And sometimes those techniques will work, and then sometimes they'll fail miserably. And we'll have to find some other way to manipulate the problem to get to the solution that we need. Before I get to our policy sheet, one of the things that I was saying earlier is that I've already tried to provide as many resources as I could think that you would need. You'll notice here I have in our introductory message, you'll find lecture videos for every section that we're going to cover. Obviously, those should be there. Now, some classes would have you watch some other professor teach the material. They would link you to YouTube. Hey, here's some calculus videos to watch. And those may or may not be closely tied with the actual course that you're doing. I don't do that. I want you to know that the lectures that I do are directly tied to your homework assignment and the test that you'll have. So I have my own notes and lecture videos for every section. Every single homework problem that you're asked to do, I've already done myself. and I've posted the written work that I needed to do those problems and a video of me working out those problems, explaining my thought as I did them. Now, as you're doing the Achieve homework assignment on the platform, you'll notice that your problems are hopefully not identical to mine, but they're going to be extremely similar regenerated assignments. So if my section homework had 18 problems, then problem 1 through 18, you'll have 1 through 18 extremely similar to mine. If I'm looking at the integral of 5 times the sine of 3x with respect to x, you might have the integral of 3 times the cosine of 7x with respect to x. It's going to be a very similar problem. So if you understand how I work the problems in my homework solutions, it should help you out throughout the course. And not only help you out, but hopefully teach you the concepts that you're needing to do the homework and to be successful in the course. I'll have I'll have the lecture videos, I'll have homework help videos, PDF notes. I've already got all of my lecture videos, the notes that I used with them posted on there. If you want other resources from the textbook other than just things that I've done, I've posted the author's solutions manual to our textbook. So if you just said, hey, I'd like to see some more problems other than just the ones he's assigned on the platform, it's got the answers to every problem out of the physical version of the textbook. And if you want to see, I've got my physical textbook solutions on there too. That's just an additional resource for you to use if needed. Sometimes students say, hey, I wish I could look at more problems than just what are assigned on the platform. You can in this class, and you can see either my work or the author's solutions manual work for those. But you'll see, as I said here, they're not assigned for this online class. Your assignments for the online class will all be on the Achieve platform that I'll show you here in just a moment. So now, as I do my solutions, I try not to ever skip steps. In fact, you might look at my solutions and say, gosh, he wrote a lot. I do that to try to make my work as easy to follow as possible. I'm not saying you have to show work as detailed as I do. In fact, you probably won't. And that's fine. It's just that I don't want you to look at something and then I go to the next step and you say, hey, how did he get from here to here? Sometimes once you get comfortable with it, you're like, hey, yeah, no problem. I can skip steps too. But it's not good to try to learn a math class with a teacher that skips a whole bunch of steps. So you'll see I try never to skip. I show a lot of work out in my problems. So now, as far as our class, everything will be located under content for what we need to do. Here we go. My computer's being very slow. Beginning of semester information. Let me start there. So policy sheet for the class. Anytime you want to know what my expectations are, what the rules are going to be, go to your policy sheet. So you'll see I have already included, if you do happen to want to meet me in person this summer, and probably in a case like that, we could set it up the day before. You just send me an email or a text to my phone, and we make arrangements to meet in my office in Haslam 2057 and go over whatever you need to in person. Or, of course, if you'd rather meet on Zoom, that's okay too. I'll keep my Zoom link right here, and that's will take you to my Zoom room that I can meet you in at any time as well. So now, as far as the cell phone, I do want to mention anytime you contact me, first time you contact me, I should say, please let me know who you are, just so I know how to help you best. Don't send random questions. I'm like, what? Who are you? Just let me know your name and obviously the Calc 2 class, and I'll be able to help you out however needed. For the Zoom times, Probably a day's notice is most helpful just to make sure we can both meet at a certain time. But we can also maybe even hop on there day of if you have some questions, and I can reply to your text or email really quickly. We can set up something maybe even more quickly on Zoom. I'm eager to help whenever you need any help throughout this summer. This is integral calculus. Our topics will include integration, sequences, and series. We'll throw in some real world problems with physics, engineering, economics, and biology. Just keep in mind that is not the purpose of this class. It's a side effect. We do some of those things in an effort to teach the calculus, but unlike an applied math class, like a physics class or an engineering class, the goal of this class is to teach you the skills required in order to be successful in those applied math classes later on. So we'll do some applications, but that's not the focus of this class. The focus of this class is going to be the techniques of integration, the techniques of sequences and series. Course materials. So you've already been charged a $50 fee as you registered for this course. And that will give you instant access to our Achieve online ebook and homework management system. And again, we'll look at that here in just a few minutes. But if you would like a physical copy, the book is available in the bookstore, and the loose leaf version of the book that's in the bookstore, it's good for Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Calculus 3. We will be using chapters 5 through 10 of the Rogalski Early Transcendentals 4th edition in our Calc 2 class. Calc 3 would use chapters 11 through 17 and finish up the textbook. If you wanted a physical version of the book, I would highly recommend. You won't find it any cheaper than $40. Now, of course, that is just a loose leaf version of the book, but that is a bargain. Graphing calculator is encouraged in the class. If you happen to forget a graphing calculator on test day, you can just use the ones in the testing center. It'll be fine. They have tons of TI-84s in there, so that'll be the calculator of preference. You can use a Casio FXG series. Some other ones are also possible. TI Inspires are fine as long as they're not the computer algebra system calculators. And no TI 89 or 92 is allowed. We can't allow calculators that have symbolic manipulators on them because it's capable of doing things like, hey, the integral of x squared is x to the third over 3. We don't want a calculator to be able to do that because we need to make sure you can do that. So no calculators with symbolic manipulators. Otherwise, it's fine. If you do have a strange calculator other than the normal TI Inspire, the TI-8483, or the Casio FXG series, if it's something other than that, let me know so I can put it on the list of approved calculators for our testing center. Because they will have a list of calculators you're allowed to use when you come to take a test with us. And right now, those are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head that most of my students use. But if there's something else that you would prefer to use that's, obviously doesn't have a symbolic manipulator, I'm absolutely fine with it, and I'll add it to our list. As far as help resources this summer, I hope I'm your first point of contact for help. I really want to make it obvious here in this video today that I am eager, willing, and hopefully you'll agree, able to help you out with this class. While you may know other people that are really good with calculus and stuff, maybe you know a tutor that's really good or something like that, no one's going to know as much about what I want you to know than me. There may be somebody that you're, comfortable in working with, but they're not going to know, hey, this guy really focuses a lot on partial fraction decomposition integration. So I need to make sure I stress that when I go over and help them. but of course I'll know that. So that's why even if you have other good resources, I hope you use me as your first resource, because that's going to be your best one. But now sometimes you might be able to learn better from somebody else, or maybe our schedules just conflict and we are not able to get a lot of help. We do have free math tutoring in our learning center, and I left the link for that here. They should have virtual and in-person hours this summer. Um, I haven't seen the list of tutors yet, but there should be some that can help out with Calculus too. Our Brightspace page, this is what we're on right now, where I'll have all of the resources for the class posted on here. And if there's ever a resource that isn't posted that you'd like, hey, I really wish Professor Lamb would do such and such, let me know. I'm always willing to improve my class. So, and I'm certainly not too lazy to improve it. So if you want me to do something, I will do it if I can. In addition to the videos and things, one of the things I didn't mention earlier is that I've also posted PowerPoint notes for each section. This is just from the textbook publisher, what they suggest to go along. A lot of teachers would teach their lessons directly from the PowerPoint notes. That would bore me to tears to do that. So I don't use the PowerPoint notes to create my lectures, but I've posted them on here for you too, just in case you wanted to see maybe a more orderly notes for each section and stuff like that, or an accessory of extra notes and stuff. Now, as far as our classroom policies and procedures, usually in my normal classes, I talk about attendance. That's not really a thing in this class since we're asynchronous online. So no attendance requirement whatsoever. It's just you need to take the 4 mandatory tests throughout the semester. The summer class is 8 weeks long. Every other week, I'll have a test in the testing center. And on the next page, I put my course calendar that has the exact dates of the availability for each of those tests. So your attendance is basically just taking those 4 tests in the testing center and doing the online work on Achieve. Now, speaking of that homework, the Achieve homework platform that I have for you, that again, I've created a similar, or I've created a video of me doing a similar assignment for every assignment that you're asked to do. I wanted you to see that I will never ask you to do a problem that I haven't been first willing to do myself. Now, as you do that Achieve, another thing that you'll notice is that each problem has unlimited attempts. So it's not like I'm testing your ability to do it first thing. I believe in mastery learning. So if you get a problem wrong 5 times, but get it right on the 6th time, or get a problem wrong 20 times, but get it right on the 21st time, great. You get credit for it. Now, the nice thing about that is with effort, you should really have a very, very, very high homework average. Typically in my online classes, the students get, well, very, very few get lower than a 90 for their homework, especially those that complete the class. Most have around a 100 for the homework because they're allowed infinite attempts at each problem, and they can watch my video for a very similar problem to what they're assigned. Now, occasionally, you might have a problem that is different enough from the one that I work that is just really stumping you. And that's again where you should come and to my Zoom or to my person to my in-person hours in the office, to where we can go over that and figure it out what's going on together. I'd love to work some problems with you. So don't be afraid to contact me with just homework questions. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. So that homework average will be worth 40% of your overall course grade. So you'll have all semester long doing the homework in groups of 2 weeks apiece. You'll have the first section of homework 5.1 through 5.6. You'll have those 6 sections due after the second week of the class. Then you'll have sections 5.7 through 6.4 due after the fourth week of class. And then it goes from 7.1 through 7.7. That'll be due the sixth week of the class. And then it goes through chapter 10.6, 8.2 through 10.6. That'll be due the final eighth week of the class. So you'll see on the assignment list that it breaks it up into 2 weeks apiece. Anytime you have questions, like I've said earlier, contact me through my webmail, jwlam@pstcc, or the cell phone number that I have up here that I talked about at the beginning. Like I said, with the test, there will be 4 of them. Since the homework's worth 40%, the achieved grade's worth 40% of your overall grade, that means each of the 4 tests are worth 15% of the final grade. Each test will be available in the testing center Monday through Saturday, every other week of the class. I don't limit how much time you'll have on the test. However, you'll need to be sure that you get to the testing center plenty of time before they close. On the calendar for the class, I have links to the testing center where you can see the closing times for the testing center at each of our 4 locations. I basically only remember the main campus. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 2. And then on Wednesdays, they're open an additional 5 hours. So it's 9 to 7 on Wednesday for the summer. And then the other 3 campuses also have hours too, probably not quite as generous as the main Hardin Valley campus. But now all of the tests should be taken at least an hour before the closing. The third test specifically is the longest test of the semester. It's the most difficult test of the semester. I would highly encourage yourself at least 3 hours on that one. But the other 3 are not that long. The first, second, and fourth test, not that long, not that bad. The third test, it's a doozy. Final exam, if you need it, is going to be available 2 days only, the last 2 days of the semester, July 22nd and 23rd. The only people who would take the final exam are those people that are unhappy with one of their earlier 4 test grades. So the final exam is cumulative, but it's just used as a replacement of an earlier missed test. So if you bomb a test and want to make up for it, you take my final. If you're happy with your 4 test grades after that 8th week of the semester, then you're done with the class and you don't have to worry about the final. Ways that you can ensure a good grade. Mainly, I would really focus on getting all the homework done. And then as you get the homework done, you'll prepare yourself to take my tests as well. So stay on track. Don't fall behind and try to do a whole bunch of sections right before the test date. It's not effective for most students. I hear a lot of people say, "Hey, yeah, I can learn like that. I can cram it all in, no problem." Probably not. I mean, I've had a lot of students tell me that weren't successful in this class that they wish that they hadn't have gone into it with that mindset. That may work for English classes where you cram and write a really good paper at the last minute. But when you're trying to master these techniques of integration, I don't think it's going to be as successful. Some of them take some time to get used to and to get acquainted with, and you're not just going to be able to do it just like that for the most part. Students who work diligently have essentially no chance of not passing this class. Because again, 40% of your grade can be an automatic 100 if you just keep on working at the homework. And then you get to drop one of your 5 test grades, assuming you take the final exam. So that would help out too. Please, if you're beginning to struggle with any part of this class, see me immediately. Now, when I say see me, it could just mean here on Zoom. It could mean in person in the office. Whatever you're comfortable with is fine with me. I'm very willing to help if you're willing to put in the time and effort yourself. You'll have a bunch of resources available to you if you should need them. Take advantage of all the resources and maximize your chance in what's usually a difficult class. Even our in-person class for Calc 2 has barely over a 50% success rate. So not not ideal. But I will tell you, my classes have significantly higher success rates than our other Calc 2 classes. So I think that we'll hopefully do pretty well this summer, and I'll certainly do whatever I can to help you succeed. Now, but like I said here, let me know how I can best do that. I'm not going to be one of these teachers that badger you and tell you, hey, you didn't do this, da 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 da. Nope. I know you're an adult. I respect that you're an adult. So I will not bother you throughout the semester. However, I will respond to any contact that you need extremely quickly. You won't have to wait long. In fact, if you wait for an answer from me for more than a day, then something's probably happened to me. I will get back to you. Uh, Pacing guide. So this is where I was talking about how I've just set the class up basically into 4 2-week sections. Now you'll see, as I said at the beginning, and as it says online, this class is asynchronous. I want to give you as much flexibility as possible to plan your study. Now, at the same time, asynchronous, but it goes in 2-week blocks. So while I won't care if you don't have any homework done at all the first week, that's not ideal. As long as you have it done by the end of the second week, you'll be fine. So the first homework block, 5-1 through 5-6, excuse me, is due June 8th, which is also the deadline for our first test for the class. Now, you do have one training assignment that I would also like you to work. Please keep in mind it says there's also a training assignment before the section 5.1 homework. And I don't think I put it here, but I believe that, yeah, there it is. The training assignment is due June 1st. So here this week, you need to do the training assignment at the very least. And then hopefully work on the homework from sections 5.1 through 5.6, which is just an introduction to the concept of integration. We don't even go into any integration techniques in this first block. It's just basically the power rule and some integration of trig functions and stuff. So pretty basic stuff to begin with. And then starting in 5.7, we start with our integration techniques. So please remember, I will never ask you to work any assigned problem. I've not worked myself. If you run into difficulty, that's when the first thing you should do is either check my written work. Let me show you here. Didn't go to it. I'll do it this way. Here we go, where you would check my written work. If you just want to see it, you would go down to where I have scan of work from Achieve Help videos. And like for the first section 5.1, if you wanted to see, hey, okay, what did he need to do the assignment in 5.1? And you see it took me a good amount of pages. So how many pages is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 and about a third of a page. But you'll, as you get into it, you'll see that I show quite a few steps in my work. So probably more than you might need to do to get correct answers in similar problems. But also, it's wise to look at this and say, okay, so what is he wanting me to show on a test? I would love for you to show out the work in as detailed fashion as I did. Now, notice I said, well, I would love it. I don't necessarily require it. You have to show enough work to show that you get the logic for the problem and that you're not just, in this case, you'd get the same answer using integration. So you can't just look at that and then boop, answer, because I'd say, well, okay, I need to see an infinite summation to get to that answer. So you do have to show work required in order to show that you got the concept in a lot of these problems. Now, the help videos, if you're having trouble with the homework, Achieve help videos right here. You'll see they're broken down approximately into 40-minute sections. I just wanted to make sure that my Zoom account didn't log me off as I was doing the homework. But what I try to do each of the times is I'll have the problem up on the screen and my work down below as how I'm explaining the problem. Anytime you'll see here, I skip from 1 to 5, it's because questions 2 through 4 didn't require any work. It's just media participation. You'll see once you get into the assignment. But any problems that required anything written, I tried to show with my document camera on the screen to let you see what I was thinking. But now back to our pacing guide here. You'll see that I have our first 2 weeks, May 28th through June 8th. That's going to be our sections 5.1 through 5.6. And the test is going to be available Monday, June 3rd through Saturday, June 8th. And you would go to our testing center link, and it has the Hardin Valley campus hours. It's in the ERC, Educational Resources Center, room 122, and it gives you the hours of the week. You also can take it on Blount County. You'll notice Blount County has very limited hours. It's basically just Monday 9 to 2 and Thursday 11 to 4. Magnolia has Wednesday and Thursday 9 to 2. And Strawberry Plains has Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 to 2. I would recommend just using the main campus, but any of the campuses will have it. The reason I recommend the main campus is you'll get your results back more quickly that way. I'll pick up all of the tests from the main campus the Saturday that they're due, and I'll have them graded, posted, scanned, and returned to you the Monday after. So our first test ends June 8th. So the 9th, 10th, June 10th, you'll have a scan of your graded test emailed back to you. Now, that's if you take it on the main campus. If you take the test on a site campus, one of the other three, sometimes those get delayed being sent to me, especially with them only operating a few days of the week this summer. It's possible that it might be 2, 3, maybe even a full week later that the test arrives in my inbox at the main campus before I can grade and send it back to you. So you'll get really quick feedback if you take the test on the main campus. You'll get feedback, but maybe not as quickly if you take the test elsewhere. Now, weeks 3 through 4, we're going to be covering 5.7 through 6.4. And then you'll see that the homework and the notes, sorry, the homework and the test for that section will all be due June 22nd. So all of the Achieve sections will be open up through that point. The Achieve sections for 7.1 through 7.7 should be completed between June 24th and July 6th. Now, because this week, during the testing period, we have the July 4th holiday, it's a bit problematic. Normally, I allow Monday all through Saturday. Every day is available at the main campus. We have a slight problem that week because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no problem. But Thursday, Friday of that week, they're closed for the July 4th holiday. July 4th and 5th, they're closed. So you would only have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. So you'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday to take that on the main campus. Now, if it comes up to where that creates a problem for you, I'm willing to meet you the following Monday on campus and let you take the test with me as I'm grading the others. So that would be possible. So don't let that deter you and say, well, I'm going to have to miss that because I'm going to be out of town. I'll try to work with you. The following 2 weeks after that, we have July 8th through July 20th. That's our last sections, 8.2 through 10.6. This is our series and sequences sections primarily on this test. And that material's due Saturday, July 20th. Some of you will be done with the course that day. So if you've done all of the homework and your test grades are as good as you'd like them to be, then you'll be done Saturday, the July 20th, or whenever you happen to finish your test. Maybe it's earlier in that week and the homework earlier in that week. So you could conceivably be done Monday, the 15th, actually. So after that, we have two other days, the Monday, Tuesday of the week following. That's when the optional test for the final exam will be available. Now, it's only available on the main campus. I can't allow it on the other campuses just because, like I was saying with the other tests, I can allow some leeway on the other tests. Like if I don't get them in a couple of days, no big deal. If I don't get the final exam within a couple of days, that's a huge deal because I won't be able to grade it to configure to figure out your final average with that counting towards it. So for that last test, it's the Hardin Valley Testing Center location only. The any of the four testing centers can be used for the other four tests. Now, as we go through our class, let's see here. I'll go back here. Need to show you the Achieve platform. So the platform that you'll be using a lot of, hopefully, to do your homework and to see the ebook and stuff on there, you'll just click this link. Now, the first time you click it, my guess is you'll think, hey, it's not doing anything. And that'll be because your browser is blocking it. So if you click this Achieve and you don't notice anything happen, then check your browser pop-up and please allow pop-ups from Macmillan Learning. When you do, it should come in like this. Now, I'm not sure that yours will show as a default going straight to the assignments. It might go to course content where you see the entire book and homework assignments through here. So if you go into this view, you can see, okay, this is the book for section 5.1. This is the content that you're supposed to learn for that section that would mirror the information I'm providing in my lectures. Then if you just wanted to go to a summary of the section, you could go to that. It's usually the summaries are not too good, I'll be honest. But then the homework assignment here. Typically, I have mine defaulted with the view where I just look at the course assignments instead of the whole course content with the book and stuff like that. Though I can certainly see advantages to viewing it this way as well. However you want to do that, that's of course fine though. When you go to the grade book, you'll see that, and I'm not 100% sure your grade book will look like this. This is from my instructor standpoint, but you'll see we have the training assignment that's due June 1st. Then you'll have sections 5.1 through 5.6. They're due June 8th. Then we'll have sections 5.7, and that goes through 6.4 due June 22nd. Sections 7.1 through 7.7 would be due July 6th. And then the last group of homework that goes through 10.6 would be due July 24th. Now, some of these sections you'll see I have out of 200 points. What that's just telling you is that that section to me is worth more credit than others. It's a longer homework assignment. If it's 150, it's a little bit longer. The shorter homework assignments are just out of 100 points. Basically, the logic I did when I created the how many points is each assignment's worth, and you'll see the little training assignment, which you'll do in less than probably 5 minutes, it's worth 25 points. So that training assignment that's due this week, worth 25 points. Then for these that are worth 100, as I did them, it took me between say an hour and a half at most to do the assignment, and certainly less than 6 pages of work paper to do them. The sections that took 150 or that I gave 150 points credit, it took between 6 and 9 pages to do it. And then anytime you see a section where I have it's worth 200 points, it's taken me like 12 pages to do the homework for that assignment. Now, does that mean it'll take you 12 pages? Maybe not. You might not show as many steps as I do. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind as you're going through the sections. Now, next thing that I wanted to do here as we're looking at what we need to do. Let's see, table of contents talked about the achieve. I showed you the achieve help videos that should be there for each of the sections that we're doing and stuff. The lecture videos, so how you learn each section, I've got broken down into videos as you see. Chapter 5, so for our first test, it'll be these group of first 6 videos right there. And then, of course, the accompanying homework with them as well. Another thing that I have on here for you are practice tests. I don't want you to show up on test day not having a clue of what I'm going to hold you responsible for. I want you to know precisely what I want you to know. So you'll never get to one of my tests and say, I can't believe he asked that, because just like your homework is a regenerated version of the homework that I've done, your tests are going to be a regenerated version of my practice test. So I promise you, when you get to the testing center to take exam 1, you're going to see the very top of it will be formatted identically to this. Your first problem will be an integral of some quotient or multiplication problem where it's expecting you to do algebra before you do the calculus. Your second problem is going to be a second derivative where you're asked to go back to an original function. The third problem is going to be finding an approximation for an integral using either left, right, or midpoint rules. So please don't over analyze my practice test and say, oh, he wanted an R4 approximation on the practice test. So that means on his test, he's going to ask for an R4 or he's going to ask for a right-hand approximation. No, that's looking a little too much. It's just saying, hey, I want one of the geometric rectangle approximations for an integral in that one. It could be a right-hand rule. It could be a left-hand rule. It could be a midpoint rule. So you'll just have to know how to do them all for that one. But it'll be a problem similar to that. The third one will be a similar physics problem. The fourth one will be a problem where you're asked to show the region with geometry and then calculate it using that geometry with assigned areas. Sixth problem will be an infinite Riemann sum, which I will give you your formula. This is your infinite Riemann sum formula. Oops, didn't mean to highlight everything. But right here, that's the infinite Riemann sum formula. I'll give you a summation of a formula that we have to use our formulas up here from, and of course, you're not just going to plug 50 through 88 in that. That would take forever. But you can say, well, the summation from 50 to 88 is just the summation from 1 to 88 minus the summation from 1 to 49. And then that would give you the summation of the series from 50 to 88. For number 8, you'll have an integral of an absolute value. For number 9, that's the fundamental theorem of calculus where we talk about the derivative of an integral. Those two end up canceling each other out. However, there's more to it that we'll talk about in that section. I believe that's section 5.4, if memory serves me correctly. And then you'll have a couple of more physics applications, displacement versus total distance traveled, where displacement is just, hey, how much change of placement you are, whereas the total distance traveled is the absolute value of your total distance traveled. So if you travel forward 10 feet and then backward 10 feet, your displacement is 0. but your total distance traveled would be 20. So we have to account for that in problems like that. And then a problem in which you have a car that's either going to be decelerating or accelerating, and it's going to ask you some information about that. So I guarantee you your first test will have 11 questions, very similar to that. Now, for each of the tests, I'll give you the practice test just like this. I'll give you my written solutions to that practice test so you can see the work it took me to work each of the problems on that practice test. And then sometimes just seeing the work isn't enough. You're like, oh, okay, I need that explained. Where is he getting that from? That's where you go to the next one and you'll have a video of me working the problems like that for you. So whichever way that you prefer, whether you just like seeing the written stuff or like seeing the video with the explanations, however you best learn from it, please do that. I would strongly encourage you to work the practice test on your own, just as if it is a test, and then check your work against what I did. Sometimes students will just look at the problem, then look at my solutions and say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Then they'll get to my actual test and say, oh, John, I just went blank. I don't know what happened. But the problem was there's a difference in looking at a problem and then following the logic of someone's solution and initiating that logic of the solution on your own. So make sure that you don't make that error in assuming that you know something when you may or may not. Now, looking at that achieved just again real quickly, wanted to make sure I pointed out here to you. I'll go to the assignments view. Please do remember to work that training assignment. It's the first assignment that's due. It's due June 1st. So that needs to be done first and foremost. Then you'll go into the sections 5.1 through 5.6. You'll see 5.7 starts the third and fourth week of the class. If you just wanted to view all assignments for the class, you can go to view all and you can see where it's broken down in here. We'll have our first 2 weeks, second 2 weeks here, actually second 2 weeks here, 5.7 through 6.4, and then third 2 weeks, 7.1 through 7.7, and then the final 2 weeks, 8.2 through 10.6. And keep in mind, the accompanying points for each section just show you pretty much the length of the homework assignment. So in this first grouping of homework that we're going to have, I don't think that you'll think any of it is that long. So when I go back to this, the first 2 weeks that we have up until June 8th, they're all just 100-point homework assignments. So not too bad. And then, of course, the little dinky 25-point training assignment. Now, let's see. So I showed the practice tests. Go back to the table of contents here. Test solutions. So whenever we do have a test in the class, that Monday after, most of you will get an email scanned of your graded test back. And then you can compare what you did on your test with what I'll post on here, very detailed solutions. Just like I did for my practice test, I'll have solutions for our actual test that we have this summer posted here. If you wanted to see the author's PowerPoint notes for any of the chapters, they're in there for you. And like I said, that's actually some pretty good quality stuff. A lot of teachers would teach their lectures based upon that. I just didn't want to myself. If you don't need the Achieve Help videos, sometimes it's just quicker to look at a scan of my work. That's all through here for each of the chapters that we do all the way through 10.6. Notes from lectures. So my lecture videos that I have posted up here, you're like, well, okay, I don't really want to take notes, but I'd like to have what he's talking about here later on. So if you want to see the written work from my lecture videos, you just go on down to on the table of contents, and my notes from lecture videos will have it section by section, just to where you can see what I was doing on that. So in 5.1, 5.2, and so forth, you can see what I was doing for each of the sections. So that'll show you the notes that I used and give you the written copy. Let's see. As far as other things, your book is already posted on here. You can go to your ebook. The problem that I have, well, and it's not a problem, it's just the way the ebook works. It's not great as far as try if you wanted to print something out from it, or if you wanted to look at the homework assignment for a section and stuff like that. It's I think it's a little glitchy as far as stuff like that. So it's okay. It does an adequate job, but just because it bugged me enough, and boy, you'll see it's not even loading for me here. Come on, I'll come back to it. Uh, I have your book posted right here. Now, that other wasn't loading, and I've posted these a chapter at a time. This is just a PDF scan of your book. So this might take a little bit to load too. So hey, we'll see which is going to load first. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. Well, I said yeah, but now it's not coming. I'll go back to the other room. Oh, nope, there it is. Yay. So 5.1, you can see it coming in. If you wanted this is going to be much easier if you wanted to print out a few pages or something to look at, be very easy to use as far as just looking at this. Now, there it goes. Trying to get to the first homework assignment. And I think it's because my computer has on Zoom. My internet connection's not that bad. Usually it's pretty quick, but I think the Zoom is eating up a lot of the computer's connection. So here we go. So below on our page, you'll see I have book homework solutions. If I was teaching a traditional class, I would give my students the option. They can either do the book homework assignment, which would be what you see right here, or they could do the Achieve homework assignment. I'm not giving you the book homework assignment as an option. So we have to do problems on Achieve in order to get the homework credit for it. However, if you wanted to to look at these for an extra resource, you certainly could. You could go in and say, well, gosh, I didn't quite get enough from the homework that was on the platform. I'm not quite sure I have it. I need to see some more examples. You go to the book, and then you go to my solutions from the book homework, like 5.1, the problems that I thought were important out of the 5.1 homework a section. You can see I liked problems 1 through 9 odd, 13 through 59 odd, and number 67 odd. Now, the way I generate the Achieve assignment is like you'll notice the first homework problem on Achieve is going to be a very similar distance problem, just the same problem here. I guarantee you the next few problems will correlate to these. All I do when I create the Achieve assignments is I drag and drop the problems I liked out of the physical textbook assignments, and I create an online platform assignments with the management system, and does it pretty easily for me, to be quite honest. So you'll see a huge carryover between my physical book homework and the actual assignments on Achieve. Also, I posted if you said, well, okay, but you didn't work every problem out of the homework. Nope. But you can see every solution. So if you go to the author's solutions manual, it'd have the answers to any problems that's at the end of those sections. So that's another resource that you'd have if you just wanted to see other problems. Now, hey, finally, the ebook on the Achieve platform came in. You'll notice I don't think it looks as good as the scan of the book. It's the exact same material. So I just went through the scan of 5.1, and this is the actual ebook for section 5.1. I actually prefer the scan myself than this ebook. Um, it's taking me forever to get through it here. So once we go through all of these, yes, finally the summary, and then This is the same homework questions. So the exercises I work right here, number one that I showed you out of the scan and then my solution. So that's right there. Number three, right here. Number five, right here. So it's the exact same problems. I don't think the format looks as good myself, but every problem that's in that scan and that I've done solutions to, it's on here as well. So you have your ebook through Macmillan or the scan of the book right here. All right, guys, I think that's all. Um, Keep in mind the grades for this class is 40% of your final average will be that homework grade you get from Achieve. I won't be updating this until obviously the very end of the semester because you'll be able to work on the homework all the way up until that Saturday, July 20th, right before the optional 2 days for the final exam, 22nd and 23rd. So on the 20th, I'll go in there and I'll look at whatever your achieve grade is and bring it over into Brightspace. And then each of your other exams, exam one through exam four, will be available 3rd through 8th for the first one, 17th to the 22nd for the second one. The third test, that's where we have the July 4th holiday messing it up. So it's July 1st through 3rd and then 6th. And I said, if you need me to come in the following Monday and let you test with me, I would be agreeable to do that for you. The fourth test, July 15th through 20th. And then if you're unhappy or if you've missed one of those four tests earlier, you can take the optional final exam that just replaces one of the earlier missed or low test grades. What if you take the optional final exam and it ends up being your lowest grade? I just wouldn't count it. So you have nothing to lose by taking the final exam. It's just if you don't need to, there's no sense in it, but it certainly can't hurt you. All right, guys. So hopefully this gets you comfortable as far as acquainted with how the course is going to work. Please, 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 please feel free at any time. Contact me, send me a text, let me know who you are, or send an email to jwlam@pstcc.edu. This first few days, I'll also be available on Zoom a lot because I know students typically have questions, and so I'll be very available to help you out whenever needed. Look forward to having a great semester with you. Please let me know if I can help you out in any way.